Take the wings in.
That looks amazing.
They're very spicy.
I don't want them. I don't like spicy.
I know.
I know you're just a little girl and I have to wipe your face the whole time.
I got this shit all.
I have to treat you like a baby, but you know.
I'm gonna need some beer. Give me that drink, hurry up. Why is this thing shutting off? What's going on? That's one crazy bug. Well, it's the truth. Oh, I don't care. It's funny. I know. Everybody's pissed because I didn't give you the money shot of the brisket squirting all over the squeen. Squeen? Oh, yeah, squeen. You know, it's a squeen, Jeffrey. It's a squeen. And one great thing about cooking the ham in the, Jesus, or green bean cast. So much easier just to reheat it in a pit. Well, because you don't want to meese?
Obviously, this is a great day. I mean, I'm practicing social distancing, but look at those guys. See, they're practicing social distancing too. Very good. That's a really good social distancer there. Howdy.
Hi.
See, so you can still go out right in the neighborhood and just walk around. You got yourself some wine. Chardonnay, that is, from Wine Till Sold Out. I mean, I can get used to this. I think you can too. Oh, wait, I'm exhausted. Better. You know, and if you don't want to hold the bottle, the great thing about my new invention is you can just let it go down and you just got the tube sticking out. It works, trust me. We're all gonna be doing this real soon, the way this is going. Don't be afraid right now. Just get yourself a nice hazmat suit. Enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous out today. People are working. Ugh. I gotta stop. Refill? So I'm sure a lot of you are thinking I'm taking this coronavirus way too serious. But god darn it, watch one of my old videos and I'll put it in a link above where somebody sneezed in my face. Oops. How terrible was that? Wow, his lawn looks incredible. I don't know if I'm talking too much in this mask and that's why it's fogging up, or if I'm running into a cloud of COVID-19. Either way, I'm protected. All right, I better get back to those chicken wings before they burn up. I think my timer's going off right now. If I don't win an Emmy Award for this content, it's rigged. I ain't kidding you.
You know when you're cooking at night, the weirdest things pop in your head. Stuff like, there's a skeeter on my, knock it off. There's a skeeter on my, knock it off. There's a one, there's a dozen. You can hear the buzzing. There's a skeeter on my Peter, knock it off. You can sing along if you want to.
We've all been there, standing alone by our pits while it's raining, just praying we can light a match so we can have a fire. Our main goal in life is to be that husband, that dad, that hero that can provide our circle of life one incredible cook that will satisfy even the worst hunger for Q. So get ready. Ricer is here to bring you peace and end your struggles of failure. He is here to help you amplify your backyard barbecue fun. Oh, can somebody please tell me who wrote this crap? Welcome to Dead Broke BBQ's Tavern Talk. Now here's your hosts, Ricer.
Well, hello everybody. How we doing? I guess again here we're back. It's another Sunday night. It is actually my 35th episode. Can you believe it? Holy cow, we've been running this forever. And it doesn't seem like it even started that long ago. But hey, I hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's run through the chat real quick. I see Matt, the cleanest shaver, is in the house. Very cool. C-Mac's in here. Awesome, C-Mac. And we've got Terry from Madwood Barbecue Charlie. And Craig from behind the garage barbecue. We've got Steven and Jacqueline. Man, I'm like tongue twister today. So Dad Life, hi, how you doing, man? I think you're new. I don't know if I've seen you before, but thank you for joining. And we have a Steven Redman. Is that like some type of conspiracy or something? Mr. Homeowner, how you doing? I see that we also have Tom from Tom's Food Factory. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining me tonight. And let's see. Let's scroll a little faster. Brad Lucas, how you doing, buddy? I know you cooked a bunch of pork butts this weekend, so good job. Tom Horsman, that sounds familiar to the young man that I'm having on the show tonight. Really excited about that. But thanks, Tom, for joining in, buddy. And let's see. I saw a couple. Hey, Jim's from Suburban Barbecue. How you doing, buddy? You know, I'm still waiting for that video that you're going to post. Can't wait. How you doing, Mr. Russ Jones? Thank you for joining me, brother. Hope everything's all clear down there and in the Hurricane Valley area, let's say. I hope all that's starting to eventually clear up for you guys. I saw that some of the stuff that was hitting the shore, so yeah, button your hatches or whatever they call it. So be safe down there, brother. And we've got Frack Daddy. How you doing, Frack Daddy Barbecue? How you doing, Jared? I really appreciate you coming in tonight. And let's see, we've got Side Yard Barbecue. I've seen you a few times, brother, but I'm not sure if I remember your name, unfortunately. There's a lot of them to remember. But then we also got Delana and Wally. How you doing? You guys are always here, and I appreciate that. We've got Jimmy EQ, Jimmy himself, and Mike from Bowers Barbecue. Let's see. Boy, this chat's running up live pretty fast already. So we've got Laura from Cypress Blue. How you doing, young lady? And KB Barbecue, buddy. How you doing? Chris from East Wind Farms. You know, I got to kind of do like my announcer voice, I think, for Chris from now on. So anyways, what a good weekend for weather we had around here. I'm not kidding you. It was like incredible. It was just like the perfect, like 65, 68 degrees all day, sunny. You know, it was just super awesome. I got a lot done, to be honest with you. I actually filmed 2 videos, and that's kind of hard for me to be frank. A lot of times I can only barely handle just 1 video on a weekend, but I cranked out 2. So yeah, it was one of those weekends. Let's see, I even have a couple pictures. Here's one of them. We did the old pizza on the uni. Yeah, we did a sausage pizza. Did 4 or 5 of them. They all turned out pretty good. My buddy that's very well knowledged in pizza. We're gonna do it again on Friday, but no cameras. He wants to perfect this little cooker. He is very. I mean, it's fun for me with this little uni deal because, to be honest with you, I've cooked pizza, but I've never cooked it like in a little pellet fired, pizza oven. So that was kind of new, and it's been new, and there's some tricks to it, but man, it makes a delicious pizza. Like my buddy was over here, Joe, and we were sitting hanging out, and he's eating. He's like, I like every single one of them. And I'm like, so do I. So we just want to really perfect that crust, but boy, it was still turned out good. Here's another picture of it, actually. So, but that was one of them. And of course I had to do a taste test on camera, so there's one piece missing, but oh well. Then I did something today. I got one of these Lion Energy power stations, and I charged it up with the solar panels, and it ran my Pellet Pro all day today. Well, not all day, but about 4.5-5 hours today, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, and I still had about 40%ish, maybe more than that, battery power left. So really a lot of fun. Another picture of it here. That was when I kind of first started out on it, but yeah, that thing is El Nito, and I think I got a little bit of a rib that's going to show up there a little bit. And let's see, we got one. Here was one of the last ones. I cut one up for the taste test at the end of the video, But yeah, typical bite off the bone like I like. So I was really happy with the Pellet Pro 1190. Also, they both both pieces of equipment that I used today really did well. So it was very productive. I will be honest with you that I had one of those productive weekends where I felt like I was actually doing something. So it was a lot of fun. I see you got a couple other guys that jumped in here. We got Hello Kent, how you doing from Daddy Dutch? We got Izzy himself, my buddy Izzy from Michigan, and then we also have Smoking Joe. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining me. So let's clean up a little bit from last week. I know that our winner, and I will announce him, was for the coffee espresso rub, was actually Tommy from the Gallery Barbecue, Backyard Barbecue. So Tommy, congratulations. I know you typically always watch it on the replay. I think you go to bed a little bit earlier than most of us. But hey, congratulations, brother. Get a hold of me, and we will get you a shaker from Sucklebusters, man. So, hey, Brad, how you doing? Thank you for joining me, buddy. And we got Andrew Edwards. That's a new name too, I think. So, hey, I all the new people that are in the chat, thanks a lot. Be active in there. Talk to everybody. Everybody's pretty kind. So maybe just don't argue about fat cap up or fat cap down. But other than that. To make like the introduction for Brian and I just kind of became chums way back when, and when I kind of first started into the YouTube thing, and we just kind of BS back and forth a little bit. So I'm pretty excited to get him on. He's got a lot of different types of grills and all that. He's a lot like his father. Oh, speaking of his father, well, thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. All this money, any super chats and all that actually goes to running the programs that I have to pay for monthly to have a show. So I appreciate all that, guys. It means a lot, and that way I can still get on here and have people come on and talk. So, but Brian and I, he's helped me a lot with my master built. He's got the cherry and I've got this, piece of crap. His runs awesome and mine's just a lemon. So, whatever. But I still like that cooker, and I've had some pretty good cooks on it. But yeah, anyways, life goes, how it goes. But no, So Brian, we're gonna get him on. He is from Mad Horse Barbecue, and you guys, you YouTubers all know him, but some of you people that haven't, make sure you check him out because he's got some different, not really so much different pits, but kind of, And we're gonna talk about one of them tonight for sure, one that I'm really fond of. And so, without further ado, let's give Brian a call. Here he comes. All right. Well, there you are. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?
Real good, man. Real good. And welcome to the show. I really appreciate you putting some Sunday night of time away for me and all that, and jumping on. Now, I don't know if you can notice, but somebody else is sporting the same type of lid as you. So that looks nice, don't it?
I like you for a reason.
Yes, right. So, hey, Brian, for the, I know you pretty well, but for the people that aren't in the chat, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, and your channel. Go ahead, fire away.
Brian Horsman here. My YouTube channel is Mad Horse Barbecue. I am a wind tech, so I climb up and work on those 300-foot tall windmills that you kind of see in certain areas, but you see a lot of them. I said nowadays. I've been doing that for about 13 years now. Got a lovely girlfriend and a 6-month-old son. Obviously I got my YouTube channel, Mad Horse Barbecue. I have a decent collection. I got like 15 grills, I think. Yeah, 15. I had to add them up earlier. But I don't know, like everything barbecue, whether it's, doing barbecue or watching other channels. And, now I'm starting to get into some of the audio and video and editing stuff. And,
right. Yeah. I mean, I've noticed that you've been upping your game there in that part of it, and that's awesome. I mean, you've been doing this long enough. Yeah, it's time to start, investing into a computer and in different programs to help you, to do it.
It's helpful to have Jeff Rice of Dead Road Barbecue be a friend because he can pretty much tell you what you need to get. So.
Well, hey, you're welcome, buddy, and I love helping you out. So you know that. So, but you just said you have 15 pits. Okay,
Yep.
So one whole car garage part is filled, and one space in the garage is filled with pits for the most part.
Well, it's a 2-car garage and it's detached, which I don't typically like. But we've been here for about 8-9 months now, and they actually built an addition off the rear of it. Probably the width of the garage and probably 8 foot back. So I can actually fit all my grills behind the garage or behind the main parking spot of the garage. So
nice.
Worked out pretty good because we can fit both of our vehicles and like a 30-inch snowblower in there in the winter. So
perfect. Well, because that's like my problem. We have a 2-car garage, detached also, and I can only hold about 6 or 7 pits in there, because if I have more than that, well, nobody's going to be able to get in the garage, so yeah, it's a little tight, but
14 of the 15 are inside. I do have one that I keep outside.
Sure. So the one that I always love to watch is that Pits and Spits, and what got you into that particular cooker? What made you say I'm buying this cooker?
It's kind of sort of when I started to really get into making videos. I had the RecTech, the RT680 before that, and again, awesome grill. I recommend RecTech to all my friends. Especially if they're on a price point, you get a lot of bang for your buck with one of those. But Pits and Spits, I think they started back in the 70s or late 70s, early 80s, and they started with offsets, and they've been doing pellet grills for a while, but they really weren't that big. And at the time, there was only 1 or 2 people on YouTube doing Pits and Spits videos. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, it's an expensive investment, but I think it can up my channel. And it got me a lot of subscribers because as soon as I got that grill, I feel like they got super popular.
Sure.
And I got a lot of videos that I've done on my Pits and Spits that have a lot of views because people are just interested in buying them. And
right.
It's an awesome grill. I've only ever had one issue with it, and it was a connectivity issue with the PT100 temp probe, which I just cut out the plastic plug and I pretty much soldered the wires together, so it's a direct connect.
Okay.
And besides that, she's run like a top.
Right. Well, and I've seen a few of the videos, obviously, and you always produce some pretty damn good protein on there. So good job. It seems like it holds temp like crazy. You set it and it just runs.
You wouldn't. I mean, I've always thought about doing a video with 3 temp sensors on the bottom, left, middle, right, and then 3 on top. I've done it myself personally, not with 6 in, but 2 on bottom, 2 on top.
Yeah.
And we're talking left to right. We're talking plus or minus 5 degrees when that thing's honed in. I always ignore it for the first hour. I ignore all pellet grills temps for the first hour and just kind of let them balance out. But once they balance out, that thing runs just phenomenally.
That's a great tip for all those people that first get pellet grills. A lot of times they don't understand that chamber has to heat up, and it takes a little time for everything to start, like you say, balance out and all that. So, yeah, sometimes it's different if you have it set at 250 and it's running at 350. Well, then there's a little different issue there. But when you get a little bit of left to right discrepancies, well, again, give it a little time. She'll heat up. That heat will travel through.
Well, it used to drive me nuts too. So,
yeah.
I used to see it off 15 degrees, and I'd go out there and turn the pellet grill down 5 degrees, and then after a couple of years, it's just it really doesn't matter. But it's kind of cool to have a pellet grill that is able to maintain those consistent temps because it does drive me nuts on some of them that have such a huge temp swings. I can't deal with that. I know how to cook with it, but I just personally, it's a personal opinion. I don't like it.
Yeah. I always say it's okay to have 25, 30 or for something like that from left to right, but when sometimes you're dealing with 100 or 75, it's just what's going on here, and that gets tricky. But the here's a question that it's kind of funny because this just came up in the chat too. But what's kind of the similarities that you and your dad have when it comes to grills?
We like to get a lot of them. Um, I can tell you one thing that's not a similar thing, which if people who watch his channel and mine, his are new in box, are like all the time. You can walk into his garage and it's like a museum to where you can't go past this line to look at his grills. But I don't know. I think me and him are both just, we have huge hobbies on, barbecuing. I like modifying some grills, nowhere near like he does. But yeah, we just like cooking food. I mean, I don't know.
Sure. So what are some of the things that you're different in when it comes to the grills?
I think certain things, I'm more of I love cooking big cuts of meat. Like I love throwing on like a 20-pound brisket. I think I've only ever done like the brisket flats, which is, it's fair. And then just certain, I would say, techniques at times where I watch him cook something 5 years ago. I'm like, oh yeah. And now I watch him cook it like that. Now I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do it that way anymore. So I'm going to do it a little different.
Try something different. When he comes over by you, and he's looking through your grills and all that, does he have a tendency to pull maintenance on him?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think he's lost hope in that. He's more concerned about his riding lawnmower he left to me, but I think again, it's a lawnmower. I mean, I drive over dog poop with it at times, so she gets dirty.
Yeah, right. So when you actually like clean your grill, can you beat him in cleanliness on it, or does he still crush you?
I don't know if there's a person on the face of this earth that can beat him with cleaning the grill. So that answer is a definite no.
Sure. So now you've kind of got into the ugly drum smokers, and I see you did a 4-part series on that. Was that is that Big Papa Smokers? Was it them or Smoke?
It was the ultimate kit from UDSparts.com.
Okay, all right. What made you jump into that style of a cooker?
You were gonna have Cooking with Ryan, and to be honest, I'd never heard of him. So
Sure.
I decided to click on his channel, and I'm like, holy heck! Like I've never heard of him, and I started watching a few of his videos, and I bet you I watched probably quite a few of his videos on his Hunsaker barrel, and I was like, man, that's impressive. And then Darren over at Ash Kicking got a couple of the gateways,
Sure.
and then I got to looking at making my own UDS because I can have access to 55-gallon drums. I have access to a few of them. So then I got onto Chef Johnny's channel at that Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine and watched his video, and I'm like, yeah, I'm making this. I mean, I can drill some holes in a metal barrel, and I can throw some paint on it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the process. I didn't think it would be as many man hours into it as I thought it was the way I did it. But again, it's pretty cool to know that, I have a cooker that I built. So
Right.
I bought a part kit for it. But I drilled the holes, I burned it out, I sanded it, I prepped it, I painted, I put it together. So
Well, it looks really cool, buddy. Congratulations on that. And I could tell just from talking to you throughout the process, you were having a lot of fun doing it too. So, it seems like a fun little task. You actually built your own cooker. And again, yeah, you got the kit for it, but you're still the one that's, like you say, drilling the holes and putting the damn thing together, and you still got to measure. Right, you still got to know how to run a drill, in a screwdriver. So good job, man. What's a few things? Here's a question from Charlie. What are a few things you've learned from the start of your barbecue that you didn't, that? Oh, wait here. So a few things you've learned from the start of your barbecue that you didn't know now. Or that he doesn't know now. I'm sorry, Charlie. That sentence doesn't make enough sense to me. I'm wondering if he's saying, what did you learn from your dad, maybe, that you now have learned better? I'm going to take a poke at that one.
I would say some things I didn't know when I first started is you don't go off of internal temp on meat, especially like a butt or a brisket. You're going off a feel. I can't tell you how many pork butts when I first started cooking those that I pulled off and they're horrible. Because I went off, I was like, oh, it's 190, it's good to eat. And then you pull it off and let it rest, and it's like, you're like literally ripping at it, and it's like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So,
right,
I mean, you
right.
learn by trial and error that, with briskets and butts and stuff, a lot of it's pro tender.
Sure.
some other things, how to manage, just, from watching my dad's videos, because he been cooking with charcoal a lot longer than me.
Mhm.
He kind of had that Primo Oval XL. Well, I think he had that when I was in high school, maybe even younger than that. But I remember watching him cook on that, and it's a Kamado style grill, so you can put a load
Mhm.
of charcoal in there. You can run that thing low, probably for 20 hours, I bet. So you
Right.
kind of learn fire management and temp control, a little bit too. So
Yeah.
that I really struggled with in the beginning when I ran, my kettles with my Sloans here. I would always go out and, open the top vent up, get my temp where I wanted, shut the top vent a little bit, and then the temps would drop. And then you learn that, there's two vents for a reason on those grills. So
Right. Right. So, your master built. Um, you when you look at that purchase this spring, has that come up the level as your kind of a fun cooker for you, or is it just one of the 15?
honestly, that's one of my go-to cookers. I've had nothing but really good luck with it. And I've stuck temp probes in there and done, my temp control things. And mine runs awesome. Like if I have it at 225, it's plus or minus 10 to 15 degrees. If that all the time. The only difference I know is that if I'm cooking on the middle or the top rack and I have a 9 by 11 or a 8 by 8 pan in there, that'll kind of mess the temps up. But that thing has been nothing but awesome. And then once you learn on that master built that you cook a brisket and you shut it down, and then the next day you do a reverse sear on a steak, and everything's going good, and you turn the grill up to 600 or 700, and then all of a sudden there's flames shooting out of the grill. It's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of grease from that brisket that I should have maybe burned off the day before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think we've all seen that.
Yeah.
I had that same situation where I did a nice low and slow cook on those beef ribs, and then the next day I'm like, let's crank it up and do some ribeyes. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that thing smokes pretty big. You better be ready. You
I
better
bet
be ready.
I bet you have used that grill no less than 50 times. I mean,
Okay,
I've used it a ton. And to be
sure.
honest, the charcoal hopper is the main point of concern on that, from what a lot of people say, and from what I read, and from what I see, it's probably a point of concern at some point.
Hmm.
After the first couple cooks, I kind of noticed it deteriorating, and it really doesn't look all that different now than what it did, say, 20 cooks ago.
Sure,
So I
sure.
don't know if it got to a point to where it needed to wear a little bit and it'll stop, or I'm sure it'll eventually wear through. But
Yeah, I saw something here on one of those little Facebook group things where somebody was talking about that. It's actually when it starts bulging out like that, that's just the fire brick that's in there kind of loosening up and actually just kind of being better is the way they kind of explained it. It's not going to be a smooth, shoot through there anymore after that. Now I did get those that stainless steel insert, and wow, I think that thing could last another 5 years because of that part of it, about that part alone, to be honest with you. So it really helps. So if that's something you're ever interested in, he's from Wisconsin too, that Luke. So but yeah, I mean, I use that grill for my grill. That cooker is my grill because I can just go out there and start it up and bam, like you say, 15 minutes or so, you're cranking out 600 degrees easily, so it doesn't take long. So, so
what I find the most impressive, not to cut you off with that, is
no,
that if you're doing a reverse sear on a steak and you're running at 200 for an hour and a half, and then you set it to 700, I've seen that thing go 2 to 700 in less than 5 minutes.
yeah,
Once that charcoal's lit, like it's like holy shit or holy crap, that thing goes fast. Or
yeah,
goes,
it certainly does go fast then, and that's 100% right. That first initial startup takes a little bit for that charcoal to go, but once it's rolling, holy cow, And I'm hoping that they come out with a 2.0 that just maybe touches on some of the things that it's lacking and beef it up a little bit. But I still say that that's a really nice cooker, really nice cooker. We've got a question from Izzy Eats, or Izzy Q, also his other name. He's asking, what is your favorite smoker out of the 15?
currently, it's my UDS. That's it's an easy answer. I've only cooked a few things. I've only cooked a pork butt on it, and then I cooked some ribs on it yesterday. But that's all I've cooked on it. So once that goes through the ringer, I always go back to my pits and spits being my favorite.
Sure,
But
sure.
but right now it's the UDS.
All right, cool. Well, it's because you're learning it too, and you're having fun with it. So, it's that's kind of like me. Every time I get a new cooker, it's like my favorite instantly, And then you really know if it's your favorite if you go back to it, And that's kind of one of the things that I look at too. So, we got a question from Tom Horsman. He wants to know how did the Vikings do today?
It was very hard for me when you asked me how I was doing to put a smile on my face. No, they're not doing good. To sum it up, we could say dumpster fire, but it was oofta. It was bad. I think we allowed 70 points in the first 2 weeks. So
yeah. Well, hey, it's like there's always next year, Brian. There's always next year. So.
It's so bad to say 2 weeks into the season.
Right.
I'm holding out hope if Daddy Dutch is on here, scroll all the way and take a look at the flag hanging up there.
Right, I see it. So here, okay. So Charlie's asking, you had your dad as like an example how to cook and all that, but what's been his most challenge? What's been your most challenge for YouTube, for the YouTube part of it?
Honestly, the hardest part for me is when I, first started and I was relatively, less than 200 subscribers, just, only going up 1 or 2 subscribers a week, and sometimes not even that. And I think I was never at a point where I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this, because I'm like, well, if I'm cooking, I'll just record. It's not any, back then it wasn't any extra, time to do it really.
Right.
Just kind of just being happy with what you're doing and learning how to do that, and then that's fine.
Yeah, and it's like I think every YouTuber is going to bump into a wall of creating in little snags and stuff like that. And I think we all have to just sometimes either watch YouTube to learn about making YouTube or, ask out some of your fellow YouTubers and all that. That's really and I think you're pretty good about that. You ask all different types of people, and a lot of us do, and that's the way you learn. But yeah, the struggles of sitting there with not a lot of subs at first, it's kind of like, dang it, But hey, you're growing now, man. You're growing now.
So the criticism on the videos never bothers me. I don't think there's a single one that's really I've been just so angry at. It's just, I try to take it as constructively as possible, and I read and I comprehend it first, and if I think they're just full of BS, I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot, so don't comment. I mean, I don't comment that. I comment like
right.
A thumbs up or a heart or something, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's that's a big thing. You got to have thick skin when you get into the YouTube business and you put your face out there and be a part of that community. Some people are avid critics, and some of them are mean when they're doing it, So what's your favorite protein? What is your favorite protein to cook?
I think I'm gonna go with what your guest was it ballistic guy said, Greg Mervis, right? Greg Mervis.
Yep.
When he said, I think he said tomahawk ribeye, and that's my favorite is tomahawk ribeye.
Sure.
It's close, but it's tomahawk ribeye for sure. And right. I realize you're paying for the bone, but it looks so damn cool.
Yeah, it is picture perfect. That's for sure. And it's a little thicker, so you got a little bit more room to, you got a little bit more room to make a mistake sometimes. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. So when you've now that you've got this small little family, are you looking forward to the young guy getting his own grill and getting him going? Do you have little? I seen a really cool picture. I think he was holding a bone. I think he was holding a pork rib, right? Yeah, he's holding a rib.
You for my drumstick.
Oh, that's what it was, a drumstick. Yeah. So that was a pretty cool picture, and if you guys haven't, make sure you get over to Instagram and hook up with his channel and all that over there too. So his account. What is your plan now with this fall with barbecue? I mean, are you going to do a lot of USD stuff or UDS stuff, or are you going to be doing well, I'm going to do this cooker today or what? Do you got any big plans this year?
Yeah, I'll do everything. I think that's kind of a cool thing about living in the Midwest is that, you see a lot of people on the Facebook group saying, it's time to put the grills away. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It's not time to put the grills away. There's been one time to where I had planned a video to do because I know we weren't going to have work because it was going to be cold, and we didn't end up having. Sorry, and we didn't end up having work. So I had a cook plan. I was going to do, just some brats out there and do it in cold and have all the snow in the background. Well, it was -50 when I got up, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll stay inside and crock pot this time.
Yeah, yeah, that is one issue that we deal with up here,
Yep.
in Northland country, that there's just some days you can't get out there.
It's not so much the cold. I mean, I could do cold if it was just cold, but if it's windy and you're having to run out and adjust vents, or the wind is, I think, what really kills pits. So
Sure. Well,
yeah.
thank you, Brooke. I really appreciate that. She gave me a super chat, so I really appreciate that. And of course, I'm glad to have Brian on the show finally. So it's awesome. But thanks again. What I kind of ask everybody this, and I know that you've done a lot of additions to your your YouTube channel this year. But what's something that you see like next year that you want to add?
I, I want to add another camera.
Okay.
And it's not so much to do like you do, because I think what you do, I'm going to leave that to you and go and talking to camera to camera to camera. I just want to have one kind of, panned away from the grill and then one on the meat, or if I'm slicing meat, have one front view and one side view, and, and be able to switch off footage like that.
Sure.
So I'd like to add another camera, and then with that a mic. Right now I use like a Rode shotgun mic, and it's a directional. It works pretty good.
Yeah.
But probably get like the lapel mic at some point too.
Sure. Well, that sounds like great additions, to be honest with you. And like when you say, yeah, I talk to the 3 different cameras because I like those different angles,
That's cool.
But like, I want another camera so I can get another food angle, But what kind of camera are you using? We just got Brad Lucas is asking that. What kind of camera are you using?
Got the Canon EOS M50.
All right, that's a nice little camera. Very good camera. Yeah, very good. Very
Back
good.
when I was researching it, I was messaging Justin from Babyback Maniac, and he was kind of talking to him about sound stuff and then camera stuff, and I think he gave me a thumbs up on this one, but I didn't do a whole lot of research besides that.
Sure.
So
So, what is one cook that you think, for yourself, and when your dad comes there, and for Brooke, what is one cook that you could say that you kind of feel you could cook it on any cooker at any day of the week, and that it would come out great? What is one thing that you can think that you can put your notch on the wall, let's say?
and it's not really even barbecue, but every time my dad comes here, he always requests one thing, and it's for breakfast, but it's an egg bake. And I've done those on pretty much every one of my pits, and it's just I've been doing them for a while, or it's an egg casserole, or it's just I'm sure you made an egg bake
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yep.
We just did one this morning because she had a couple girlfriends over, and they like everybody says they like it at least. So, but it's pretty good. And then if you cook it with some lump, I've done it on pellet grills, but you just don't get the same flavor as you do when you cook with a little bit of charcoal. And it's not overpowering, but
Sure.
if you're cooking with like real lump charcoal, like it gives it, you can tell it was cooked on a grill, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
Nice. Do you have a video on that?
I do. Yeah, I did
Okay.
it on I did it on Mother's Day. It doesn't ever get a lot of views, but
Yeah.
I think I have one on my master built. I have one on my pits and spits. I did one on my 26-inch Weber kettle. Might have done one on my Rectech too, but I've done them on pretty much every one of my
Jeez,
grills.
I can't believe I never saw that, because I have watched your videos before, but it's like I never must not get into my algorithm because I'm not searching for egg bake, So
It was the video I put out right when I got that master built too, and all my master built videos at that time just kind of shot up for my channel, and the egg bake it didn't. I even put a can of that. It's like PBR coffee, but it's like a breakfast drink kind of, and I put a can of that in there too, thinking like, oh, people see PBR, they'll click on it, but then I remembered probably not a whole lot of people like PBR, so.
well, I think a lot of people do. I think they do, or at least, especially in Wisconsin here. Everybody's drinking PBR. And for some of you people, that's Pabst Blue Ribbon. But yeah, geez, Pabst Blue Ribbon, that's the way to go. So the you're being that you're the family man now, and you got that going on. You got the youngin. Who's doing most of the cooking?
I would say me. It's a very fair trade-off in this house to where I'll do the cooking or I'll do the dishes and she takes care of the kids, and it's both equally as time consuming. If not, the kids a little more time consuming than the cooking. Or the cooking is more enjoyable than having to wipe a dirty butt, I should say.
Spoken like a typical father. We all agree with that one. Pretty much all of us, So we got a question here from Steve Hart. He's saying, what pits and spits does he recommend now that he has cooked on them? Which one do you think that and I know it's hard because of you don't know what their budget is, but what's one that you'd recommend?
If you want something and you don't like if you're just set on cooking for just a couple people, never any more than just that, just get the 850. But if sometimes you'll cook for, even if it's just 3-4 times a year, if you're going to cook for a large group of people and you want the room, just get the 2000.
Yeah.
I got the 1250. I've actually done 12 pork butts on it at once. It was packed. I could have fit 3 more on too, but I wish I would have got the 2000.
Yeah. Well, and it's always that too, hindsight's 2020, and you're looking at like, I got the 1250, I can get plenty on here. And then there's that one time where it's like, gosh, if I had the 2000, I could get 2 more racks of ribs. It's always kind of funny that way how it works. But,
I'd say, so to his question, I'd say get the 2000. If you like stainless steel and you don't have a budget, they sell a stainless steel option, and it's really cool looking. Me personally, I wouldn't want to clean all that stainless steel though. I like dull and matte black. For me, the stainless steel on the lid and on the hopper cover is perfect. That's easy enough to keep clean.
Right.
But if he's got no budget, just get the 2000 stainless steel, and tell Coy or the guys at Pits and Spits at Mad Horse recommended that you buy their most expensive 2000. So
there you go. Perfect. We got a question from Charlie again. He is saying, you climb towers. What's the biggest height you've ever cooked on?
Well, I don't know, whatever the elevation is where I live right now. We've cooked maybe like a can of soup or something up tower on you throw the gearboxes up there are pretty warm. So if you get up there and you're up there for a while, you can kind of sort of warm like a can of soup up. But I mean, I've heard of guys bringing like George Foreman's up there, and I'm not up there to eat a 3-course meal. I'm up there to get my job done and get back down on the ground for the most part.
Sure. And then Izzy's asking, have you ever grilled on top of the windmill? But obviously you haven't.
I think it'd be a pretty big fire hazard there.
Yeah.
The nacelles are all fiberglass. They go up like fiberglass burns pretty good.
Right.
So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. A little O should be on your hinder for that one.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
So what got you into the windmill part of it? Because that's always kind of interested me. That I'm in the utilities industries and all that, and what got you into that part of it?
So out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I worked at a metal CNC shop for 4 months, and it was second shift, and we were making parts for water mains, and it was I'd make 1,000 in the same part every night, which it was fine. Like I knew what I had to do, but
right.
After you start using your Dynafile and grinding down metal, and you blow your nose when you get home and it's all black, it's like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So I got into cabinet making. I kind of grew up in a woodworking shop. My dad taught me how to use all power tools and stuff, and
sure.
I did that for I think about 3 years full time, and worked at UPS in Milwaukee at the airport for a little over 3 years, and just didn't like the money I was making. My dad works for Michaels Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
He got me an interview with the first company I started with, just to get my foot in the door. Got an interview, got the job, and here I am. 13. I started in wind in February of 2008, so here I am in August of 2020 or September.
Sure. So, yeah. Well, you got to be good with heights, that's for sure, and that's because I was good with heights when I was younger, but you get me up there now, oh yeah, you're gonna be wrapping me up with a cord and lowering me down.
I've had quite a few jobs, and the one thing I always find myself doing at most jobs is you get there for an hour and then you're looking to see what time it is. I can tell you, you get out to a turbine, you climb up there with your partner and start working. It's like you can get there at 8, 9 o'clock, and then before you know it, it's 2 o'clock. Like the time, like the days just go by when you're gone.
Sure.
Like, and that's one cool thing, and it's a rare thing too. I've never had that at any other job.
Oh, that's
So
good.
kind of,
Well, that means you love it, man. Good. So when you're working with your dad at his house on barbecuing, when you guys are doing that, do you ever try to take the reins and say, "Dad, I got this," or is he still kind of like, "Well, son, you go get the rub."
I would say it's vice versa. When we're at his house, I know I don't need to take the reins because I know I'm going to be eating good at his house.
Right.
But every once in a while, when I'm shooting a video here, he'll pop in and try to open up my grill, and I think there's a few videos where you can see me slapping his hand out of the way, like, "Get your hand out there, that's my grill."
All right, we got to question. This is back to the turbine here, but do they turn the turbine off before they climb it, or do they leave it running?
No, we turn them, we idle them down, and then the way the turbine tracks itself into the wind is called a yaw. So we'll throw that in, we'll throw that in yaw manual, so nothing's moving when we go up there, but it's not moving. She moves pretty good when you're up there when it's spinning.
Yeah.
So.
Is there a brake on it, like a magnet brake or something like that holds it?
It's just 2 brake pads that ride on a brake disc, and when it needs to stop, the 2 brake pads go on the brake disc and stop it. Yeah. Its primary braking system is actually the blades. So when you look at it when it's running, the blades are like that because the wind touching them and it's spinning. But then when it starts to go slow down, the blades will slowly but surely go like that, and then the wind can't catch them, and then the blades actually slow them down.
Okay, interesting. So your brother, does he have a hankering for the barbecue too, or is he not into it as much?
No hankering for barbecue for him. He likes it. If he's at home by mom and dad's, or if he's here, and heck, him and his wife were over a month or so ago, and I made 3 racks of St. Louis style ribs, thinking we'd have leftovers just for me, Brooke, and then my brother and his wife, and nope, there are no leftovers. So he can put down some food because he's one year younger, but he's about an inch or 2 taller. So
okay, yeah, and you're a tall boy, so yeah. What's Brooke's favorite meal that you make other than the eggs?
Other than the eggs, I would have to say currently is ribs.
Ribs? All right.
Yep.
Do you have a go-to style? Is there a certain way that you enjoy doing them over the others?
I like St. Louis style over baby back. I prefer to buy the full spares and trim them down myself, and then get rid of the breastbone, but then save the rib tips and cut or make those a different day. But then I like it better when I wrap. Whether it's I've done like 4-1-1, 3-2-1, 4-2-1, just depending on how big the ribs are. But I do like wrapping. The only thing I'll usually put in wrap currently is just a little bit of barbecue sauce and some rub.
Mm-hmm.
Throw them back on meat side down. You know how that goes. But
yep, I just did a video today doing the same thing. So
I think it turned out really good. I think one thing with the wrapping the ribs is that when I first started doing them that way, it's like, oh, this is stupid. You can't even take them out of the foil. But then you learn you just got to be a little more careful with them. Then you can put them back on the grill, and they kind of stiffen back up when they hit a little bit of direct heat, and then they're easier to handle. But they're just, I don't know, they're good. And if you do them right, they're not fall off the bone. There's still a bite to them, and they're just, to me, that's kind of my favorite way to do them too.
Sure. We've got Mel from Dark Side of the Grill is wondering. He says, "What's your favorite cheap cut for low and slow cooks, and why?"
Well, pulled pork, really, you usually find that cheaper than heck. Could be the easiest answer. But if like a cheap cut of beef would be like a chuck roast. Mm-hmm. And yep, I like doing that like brisket. I've never, unless I'm doing it in like a pan with some veggies and stuff, at some point, if I'm gonna just have it on the smoke and then wrap it in a little bit of foil, like I like to slice it like a brisket, and I think the girlfriend prefers that over brisket. She likes the flavor of chuck roast over brisket.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that prefer that. Now, I will take a point over a flat any day of the week, obviously, but I would take a point over a chuck roast, but I'll take a chuck roast over a flat easily, hands down.
When beef was kind of sort of hard to come by here, I wanted some rib eyes, but they had like two, and they were like, they weren't this much, but I think they were like 16, 17 bucks a pound just for choice.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some like 1 3/4 pound chuck steaks. And I know from a chuck roast that, unless you take them up pretty high, they're pretty rough.
Right.
So I wanted like steaks. So I just threw them on the PK, like got that thing hotter than heck, through the grill grates on it, and seared them on the grill grates for 3 minutes aside, and pulled them off, let them rest. And chuck steaks is like one of me and her's like favorite thing to have here too. Just kind of just cut it in slices against the grain.
Sure,
really
sure.
Street tacos, it's really good with just like mashed potatoes or cut up potatoes, but it's a really good cheap cut of steak.
Heck yeah.
If you cook it hot. I've reverse seared them before, and I don't really care for it. But if you can just have it on a screaming hot grill for 5 to 7 minutes, I think they turn out really good.
Sure. Yeah, you got to cook them a little bit more than medium rare, but that's okay when you're, like you're saying, street tacos and stuff like that. So 100%. So, well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that, young man. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, sir. We got one from Izzy here. What's your favorite barbecue sauce or barbecue rub you use? What's your favorites?
My current favorite rub, like this is my current one, probably for like the last month, would be that Tailgaters. I can never remember, like the
Party rub.
Yeah, the one that Dan Woods make. That's my favorite rub right now. And my favorite sauce right now is Blues Hog raspberry chipotle.
Oh yeah. You were telling me about that a while back. I really got to. Didn't you do those ribs on that? Didn't you do your spare ribs video not too long ago?
Yeah, when my dad was here, I did.
Yeah. That looked really good. Looked really good.
The Rectech ones I did too. I did on the Rectech Mini.
I know. I mean, that's where. And I thought, I got to try that. I've never seen it. I see the red and the original by me. That's all I can really find. But I've never seen that raspberry chipotle. So that sounds really good. So, Yeah,
I kind of sort of got into the fruitier ones. I bought it was the 6 or 7 pack one from Cosmos. Mm-hmm. And I had like the peach habanero barbecue sauce that he's got. And
yeah.
Holy crap. Like on chicken wings, like that is the best on chicken wings. And then I had like the apple jalapeno on some ribs, and I'm like, holy cow, this is good. A little hot for ribs, but but still, I mean, it's just a really mild heat and a really mild fruit flavor, but you can definitely taste it, and it just complements certain meat pretty good.
And once in a while to spice them up a little bit like that, it's not too bad. I mean, around here, typically I keep them at a medium heat, but every once in a while I'll jack them up a little bit, and everybody's like, oh, these are good, but they're so dang spicy. And it's like, well, you'll eat less, you drink some water. But when you talked about the peach habanero, Sucklebusters has a really good peach sauce too. Yeah, really good. I really like it. I think it's actually probably for ribs, it's probably my favorite. And I haven't even done a video on it. I haven't even used it on the video. We always get it and I eat it up right away. It's like, okay, let's put this on there. Now, are you a sauce person on pulled beef? Do you like sauce on pulled beef or just the beef?
Just the beef.
Just the beef.
I don't like sauce on beef, pretty much, period. I just like it just by itself.
See, I like a good pulled chuck or I mean, I'll pull a brisket flat sometimes, to be honest with you, because we just like it that way better than the slices on the flat. And I like a little bit of good vinegar sauce on the side for that on a sandwich. Oh yeah, that's the only time I really like sweetness on beef is a pulled pork or a pulled beef sandwich. That always goes good. So
talking like you dip it in it, you're talking about, or
yeah, just put a little bit on top. I don't want it mixed and stirred in because I don't even like pulled pork that way. I hate when you go to a place and they got pulled pork and the sauce is all dumped on top. I want to just take that old ketchup squirt bottle and squirt a little bit on top and give it a little flavor, or dip it in rub it through some mop on the plate, but yeah, that peach stuff that you're talking about earlier, though, that is the bomb from Cosmos and Sucklebusters. So if you haven't tried that Sucklebusters one, you need to try that one too. So really good.
Huge fan of Suckle Busters, so I will have to try that barbecue sauce.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people make really, like Butcher's Barbecue has more of that traditional like comp type of sauce where it's got that smokiness in it already and all that. I prefer not to have that flavor. I like just the sauce that I'm gonna make the smoke. So now,
I need your fly swatter over here.
you got one bugging you? It's not sure.
I got one fly.
Well, go back to that video and click on the link. I think there's one in there. You can find it on Amazon. I'm just kidding. I
Going up all the time. I know exactly what it is.
we actually every single time that we videotape now, one of the boys is sitting there just whacking bugs and flies. Man, it's a lot of fun. So Charlie's asking, what's one piece of advice you'd give a young mad horse? What the heck? What's the one piece of advice he'd give to young mad horse? Okay, to your son. What's one of the big words of advice you'd give your boy?
Just worry about yourself and don't worry about what other people are doing. If you're happy with what you're doing, that's really all that matters.
Very good. Very good. That's right. I'm excited to see him when he gets a little bit older, and if you throw him in a little bit of videos, helping and all that, because it is like a memory thing with my two boys when we do it all the time, and it means a lot more to you. I was on a show a while back, and they asked what was my favorite video I ever did. Well, it's always with my boys are actually doing the work, because that's fun. So I'm excited to see Junior there getting in the video with Gramps and yourself. That'll be a lot of fun. So
I say he's already helping out with the audio, not intentionally, but he just does it because he wants to do it.
right.
Videos I've done that she's been at work for, and it's all right. I'm gonna cut this brisket, and I only have one brisket, so we're going for it. So like Baker, just shut up for a bit.
right. So
he doesn't listen. No, I don't know. I'm making a list for when he gets older.
Yeah, right, exactly. Gets a little bit older. Matt, the cleanest shaver, is asking, what are your thoughts on brisket injections?
Love it. Darren over at Ash Kicking is the one that got me into it. Just going on the YouTube community for a bit. It's kind of nice. This little Midwest. I have you for all my pretty much technology questions. You put me on the right track for the computer, like the photo editing software, and your stuff for cooking. But I think my go-to guy for cooking stuff is Aaron over at Ash Kicking. When I showed him a picture of a kit I got from Cosmos, he sent me like a 2-paragraph long thing with detailed instructions, not telling me to do it that way, but he's like, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Here's how I do it. And I'll tell you what, I followed that, and I'm like, Jesus, that's I love injections. If you're gonna wrap, most of the time I'll do an injection. Especially now because I used to do briskets low and slow. I used to be a big low and slow believer. And it's still cool. It's still cool to cook a piece of meat for 18 to 20 hours for some people. Other people hear that you spent 20 hours cooking some meat, and they're like, well, are you out of your mind? And I'm like, well, no, it was just, it was fun.
Yeah, right.
I've tried 3 or 4 different brisket injections, 2 from Cosmos, 1 from Butcher Block, and then I can't remember. I thought I had another one that I tried too, but by far my favorite one is just the Cosmos Reserve brisket injection.
Okay, so. Sure. Yeah, I like Butcher's. I always use his brisket, his premium brisket injection. That's one I use a lot. Now, I'll be honest with you, my videos, I think I've only done 1 or 2 where I actually injected it, because on the videos I prefer not to inject it and try to strive for, that getting it broke down well and it looks good still on camera. Injections, some people are like, oh, that's you're filling it up and the phosphates and all that and blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. I like to do a brisket not injected, because the majority of the people that are watching the videos, they are not going to inject it. So a lot of times I don't do it, and I kind of sometimes don't want to eat something that has a different flavor than the actual flavor, and that's kind of always I've been with it. But I will tell you, that you're right. The brisket injection from Cosmos is awesome also, but my go-to it's just because it's easier for me to get is the butcher one. So, what do we got? Any other questions out there for young man Brian here? Well, it's slowing down. Everybody's talking to Uncle Steve in here. So, but all right. Now, when you're doing your videos, are you prepping like way in advance? Like, okay, on Saturday I'm going to do a video, or is it like Thursday you're like you're at the grocery store and you see something? Oh, I'm just going to make a video on it. Are you kind of like off the cuff type of person, or are you actually planning some of this stuff? Now, obviously, I know you're making it for dinner. You're not just making it, but again, do you have a rhyme or reason to what you're doing and posting?
I'd say it's like 50-50. When I got done with the UDS, I talked to you about it. Hey, I'm doing a pork butt, and then you were like, "You're recording?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Well, you got to," and I'm like, "All right, I'll do it."
Right.
Sometimes I'll plan out like. Sunday morning, I'm going to get up at 4, because usually if I'm going to do a brisket or a butt on a Sunday morning, I'll get up at 4:30, and just get around nice and early so it can be done by 2 and I can let it rest for 3-4 hours before we eat. But a lot of the times I'll just, that looks good. I'll do a video on it. So.
Right. Well, and it's funny you say that because Saturdays are my low and slow days. Okay, typically. Sundays are my like quick cooks because I got the show. So I'm like, I got to be done cooking by 4:00 so I can get everything tore down and get ready for the show. But yeah, I mean, I think we're all as YouTubers are pretty much what we're videotaping is typically what we're making for dinner. But sometimes we sit back and say, I didn't do this cook ever on this piece of equipment. I got to do it. So then you kind of plan, well, this Saturday we'll do it or whatever. So we got a question again from Charlie. And if I can read his writing, and he's writing it perfect. It's just I'm having a hard time reading Colorado today, I guess. So what is his go-to cooking and has it changed from when you were a kid?
What is my go-to cooking?
Yeah. What is his go-to? What is his go-to for cooking? And has it changed with his kid? I'm sorry. I should have my glasses on.
Okay.
Sorry, Charlie.
I mean, my go-to would probably be just like a frozen pizza or some ramen. But so that doesn't change much with a kid. But stuff with the grill, I mean, really not a whole lot, changed, since he's been born. Obviously, maybe it's a little more difficult, but for the most part, my girlfriend encourages me to do this quite a bit. So, like when I say, hey, I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to get up at 5, it's okay, do it. So, I mean, she'll take care of the the little kid while I'm doing it. So.
Sure. So Izzy wants to know: are you a foil or butcher paper on your brisket? Which one?
More or less, I'm foil. I've done a few of the Texas style briskets, to where it's just salt, pepper on the outside, and then wrap a butcher paper, and they're good. I like the personal flavor and the moisture you get with foil better than butcher paper. So.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure a lot of that comes from maybe the technique that I do it on. Some of it, maybe it's a little bit of it comes from the quality of meat. But I've cooked, there's a spot here a half hour away that I can get a case of prime briskets, but I got to buy it by the case.
Sure.
Which, don't threaten me with a good time because I'll buy that crap by the case all day long.
Right.
Just have to be willing to spend, $300, $400, $500 on, a case of meat.
Right.
But I like foil better. So.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I have yet to do any videos on using butcher paper, but I've used it a few times, and one was perfect. It was unbelievable, but the other one, the bark got so darn stiff. It was really juicy and tender in the inside, but that bark got a little stiff for me. And my family was like disappointed. It was weird. They're like, the bark isn't as good. It's a little stiffer, whatever. But I think that once you get kind of used to certain ways, that's your kind of go-to, as you would say, because that in a foil it's going to be a little little softer. But like I did a pork butt all the way straight through, naked, never touched it. And that was some of the best dang pulled pork I ever had in my life, but I had to really pull it because that bark was so stiff. It was pretty stiff. So we got one from Terry. He's from Madwood Barbecue. He's asking, what will you not cook? What is something you won't cook?
I've done it once. It's those they call them like chicken grillers, those stuffed chicken breasts with cheese and ugh, no, never again.
Never again. Never again. There you go.
There's certain things I don't like cheese with, and like a chicken breast is one of the, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, especially cheddar. It doesn't go good with cheddar. Yeah.
Good.
Andrew from Anderson Smoke Show is asking, at any point have you been concerned with your father grill hoarding?
Well, see, mom and dad have 2 houses, so I would bet his total number is probably close to 30, if not over that. No, I don't, because if Brooke ever says I have too many, I'll be like, yeah, but my dad has this many, and it's
Right. It works into your favor. Right. Exactly.
now it's to the point to where I find enjoyment in Weber kettles. Obviously, I have a really cool 1993 Weber SSP. The forest green one.
Yeah.
Just if I can tell you a little backstory on it is,
Yeah.
I was searching for the blue one, the SSP, and I could never find it. A green one popped up on Marketplace. I messaged the lady. I got it for like 150, and like the pictures made it look like it was, pretty good shape. I got there and it was like mint. And she told me, she's like, yeah, I only ever cooked on this twice. She had the original purchase receipt. She had all the
Wow.
paperwork, and she said, yeah, the second time I cooked on this, I couldn't get the igniter to work. So she had a receipt from Ace Hardware that came and serviced her grill. And what had happened is they have the automatic ignition on those kettles.
Sure.
Spider got in there and built a web, and the flame wouldn't go through the little pipe.
Oh, wow.
Receipt for it, and I believe her that thing was only ever cooked on twice.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Charlie's asking, what's your take on 3-2-1 ribs? You kind of answered it earlier, but
I know pickles taste on 3-2-1 ribs. I like them. If I'm gonna truly do 3-2-1, they got to be a little bit bigger racks. Because I think if you're going to do 2 hours in foil on some smaller racks, they're going to be just fall apart when you grab them out of there. But if you're going to do some larger baby backs or some larger St. Louis cuts, I think that.
yeah, it's like the 3-2-1 ribs. A lot of people like that. I think they think of the fall off the bone thing, meaning that it's tender. But I'll give them a bite off the bone, because I've actually have done that for people like, well, I just want them to fall off the bone. And I'm like, well, how about this? Try this. And they're like, wow, this is just as good. I'm like, yeah, bite off the bone. You got a clear bone. That's just as good. And it's a little bit snappier, and the texture isn't quite as mushy. So, and you try to. Brooke is talking about that you can't say Tom is hoarding when he's given Brian multiple since we've been together. Now Brian,
we have a trade program, is what we have. Is my dad? I give my dad like to me, searching for old Weber kettles is cool, and finding them on Marketplace and getting them like that. That gets me going. That's really cool to pick up an old kettle.
Right.
I found that 1987 22-inch Dr. Pepper Weber kettle that my dad pretty much told me he was going to steal from me. But, I worked out a trade with him, and I got his PK for it.
Right.
And then I found a 93 new in box Weber Smoky Joe, and I just gave that to my dad just because I was like, I'm not going to cook on it. And Brooke, the girlfriend, won't let me put it in as decoration. So
Right.
I'll just take it because mom will let you put it in the house. So.
Right. So what grill that your father has, what Tom has, that you don't have but you really want?
It was the PK, and I got that thing. It's just cool because it's like a kettle. Like they're cool because it's there's not much to them. Currently, not on a pellet one. So a pellet grill is a pellet grill. If you cook on a pellet grill, they pretty much produce all the same stuff.
Right.
And I got his Rectech Mini. That's the one I really wanted. But I would say right now would be his SNS kennel. His SNS kennel. Yep.
Sure.
Just
Good,
because
good.
I like the company. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 SNSs, 2 for my 22 inches, 1 for my 26, 1 for my Jomo Joe, and then I have 2 dripping griddles, and then I have some of the grates that go on the dripping griddles. I just like their products, and
Yeah,
I have that Maverick XR50 that I used for quite a while. I'm not using it
sure.
anymore. I still keep it because you can never have enough of those temp
Right,
things.
right.
That SNS kettle is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got one and I really like it. I have one cook on it and it did well, and now I'm ready to start doing a couple more videos on it. But it's like everything, I got to get to it. The grill that or the cooker that I want that he has is his rotisserie from Smoke Daddy. I think that thing is really cool. I think
Yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah.
You know.
Do they sell them anymore, or did they
Yeah,
stop?
no, I think they still sell them. They still sell them. So that's one on my list eventually that I will get, because not that I'm a big rotisserie person, but I think that when you do rotisserie chicken, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I like rotisserie chicken the best. I just think the way it works, it's just awesome. So, Brad is asking, what probe setup do you use?
Right now, I have the ThermoWorks. It's the X4? Is
Sig-
it the no?
Signals?
It's not
No,
Signals. It's the
smoke.
smoke. It's a
The
smoke
smoke.
X4. It's the one that's got like a 1.5 mile like line of sight range.
Oh, so you
Um,
got the new smoke.
I got the new smoke. I got the
Oh,
X4.
yeah, you got that one that, yeah, you can drive to the grocery store still,
No, so disclaimer, if I shut my garage door and I bring the temp probe in here, a lot of the times, if the coal's about out, I'll just shut it down and put it in the garage and close the garage for the night, and I won't have anything by it. It'll lose connectivity sometimes,
Sure.
but it'll come back in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like, I think that's the farmer probe is what I'm thinking, is when he's out on his tractor, he can sit and he's plowing and he can, because a mile and a half or whatever, I'm like, holy cow, that's quite the distance for that. But they say line of sight, obviously. So I'm like, oh yeah, I could see some guys in Kansas, plowing,
You can hook your, you got not the BBQ Guru, but you got the Party Q or
I got the signals. I got the signals, and then but yeah, I could hook a blower to that, and
what's you got the actual control, like I have the BBQ Guru.
oh,
You
I've
have
got the Ultra Q. Yeah, Ultra
there,
Q.
and you can do that to your Wi-Fi, and you can control that from your phone anywhere, can't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
As long as it stays connected to your Wi-Fi network, your remote or whatever.
So now your dad says, maybe a trade in the future. Still got the Smoke Daddy Elite rotisserie. So all right, well, we'll have to figure something out there, Tom. Well, and that's kind of the cool thing that you guys are doing too there, that your dad is such a barbecue enthusiast along with yourself, is that, yeah, I mean, he's like, hey, you take this one for a while. I've had a lot of fun with it. And then you're giving him something to play with too, and I've given out more grills than I think I've ever bought in my life, because I buy them. This is before I even was in YouTube. I'd buy one and use it for a couple seasons, and I'm like, hey, you need a grill? I want to buy a new one, So it's like, it's just how it is. I'm too giving, sometimes, but hey, have somebody else, and you have some enjoyment out of it. It's always cool. It's always cool. So let's see here. We had, oh no, not that one. Okay, almost like women and shoes, men and barbecue and smokers. That's right, Laura. You are completely right on the head there. So what is your biggest, the toughest thing for you to do as a food? Okay, and I mean, like, when you're making barbecue, what's the one still today that you always are saying, Jesus, I just got to get a little better at this? What is the big hang up, cook?
Honest, and Brooke would disagree, it'd be ribs. I don't know why. Like, I feel like 2 years ago, like when I was doing barbecue, like ribs would be perfect for me all the time. And now it's like I'm always like wondering, and I'm not checking on them a lot because I know if I'm cooking, if I'm not using a sugar-based rub and I'm not worried about, it burning,
Right.
I can cook on for quite a long time, but they turn out, most of the time they turn out good. I did ribs yesterday at my UDS. I swear they probed tender, and I sliced them up, and like every third bite I had was a little rough, and I'm like, what the heck? But yesterday I didn't wrap. So pickles, if I would have wrapped and done it my way and not your way, it would have been fine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's like I like like the Memphis style dry ribs. That's my favorite one, and I need to do a couple more videos of those because that's really actually the ones that I used to do all the time before I became a YouTuber. And you don't wrap them; you run them all the way through, and I don't want to say that it just takes patience sometimes, because sometimes you have a rack and you're like, well, 3 of these are done. That's okay. We'll eat. And then it's so disappointing when they don't all turn out at the same time, because then you get to take okay, everybody, let's time to eat. And then you're back out there finishing up the, that last rack, but it's still one of my favorite ways,
Yeah.
When you cook on the Weber, what is your favorite way to cook on the Weber?
Slow and sear.
Slow and sear?
Yeah, hands down.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got that. I actually think that's a accessory I got before my dad got it. I could be wrong on that, but I think I got the slow and sear before he did. I love that slow and sear though. Whether you're gonna do a reverse sear or set it up low and slow, it's just there's a lot of haters on it. You can just put 2 bricks in there, and sure you can if that's what you want to do. Fine, but if you want to, spend some money and put it towards a good company, get a slow and sear, because it's really cool to have just a basket that holds all your coal in, and I have the one sear that the water trough comes out on, and I don't really ever use water in the water trough, to be honest with you. If anything, I'll put some smaller wood chunks in the water trough.
Okay.
It'll put some smoke in there.
Sure.
But yeah, it'd be with the slow and sear.
It's funny because sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And like ribs, at first I was putting water in there and it made no sense at all, but on brisket, a lot of times I will put a little bit of water in there. I think it does help, but once it dries out, then I'm done. I don't really care so much always about filling it back up. I don't think it works or helps that much towards the end of the cook. When that's starting to break down and those juices are starting to flow, what's more water or moisture going to do is just going to make your rub not stick as easy, so
that's the one thing I miss about. I had that copper 22-inch kettle that I had the BBQ Guru poured in it. Mm-hmm. My 2 kettles I have now are the one SSP, like the 93, and I'm not drilling a hole in that thing just because it's so cool and it's original. And typically on my SNS I run 250 to 275, and it's pretty easy to do that just with the vents. But I do sort of miss having that BBQ Guru in a 22-inch and just getting your fire starter going and turning that thing on, shutting the bottom up, and opening the top up and letting the BBQ Guru do the work.
Right. Well, you got to get yourself a slow and sear that's got that little smoke hole in there, and it's all set up for that. And that that's going to be my first cook, is I'm going to actually put the Guru in that thing, So, but
I've been there and it's been in my cart a few times.
Well, now they're sold out again, so I mean it's another, and all that, but that's how it is. So let's see. Izzy's wondering, what's your rib method? What is your rib method?
It's different every time. When I did that RecTech video a month or so ago, I went into that cook knowing I'd wrap at some point, but I didn't think I'd do 3-2-1, and I did 3-2-1. When I cooked for my dad and my grandma, my brother, and his wife, I did like 4, 1.5, half or something. It just depends on the size of the racks. If the racks are bigger, they can go into foil a little bit longer, or they can stay on smoke for a little bit longer. But I usually don't do both at the same, during the same cook.
Same cook, yeah. I mean, it's fun to try the different ones. And again, I do wrap a lot of times. And in the video I did today, I took it back out of the foil and set it back in the cooker for about 10 minutes. When I did the master built one, I had no time because I was actually cooking for a party, and we just took them right out of the foil and cut them up, and they're both times they've been real good. But when you let that caramelize a little bit and that sauce kind of tacks up, it's way better. It's just way better, you know.
Like you said too, it's like like if you don't put them back on the grill for 10, 15 minutes, it's hard to spread sauce on them too if you're gonna put sauce on them.
Right.
Because they're just so wet from coming out of the foil.
Exactly. So let's see if we get a couple more questions, and we'll get that out if we get a couple more for you. But if not, I'm gonna let you roll. Why don't you tell us where we can reach you at?
Well, YouTube at Mad Horse Barbecue, and I'm also on Facebook, and I am now on Instagram. I have the best social media manager in the whole wide world, being my girlfriend, who's got a real talent for that kind of hashtag stuff. If I did my own posts, it would be, dude, check this meat out. I cooked it.
It's good to have a helper.
Read my Instagram and Facebook posts. That's not me. I'm not that creative.
Well,
I do want to do a giveaway if that's all right.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I am going to give away. I did get some. See if you can see that. Some
Yep.
stickers. And I am going to give away a Mad Horse Barbecue hat. It won't be the one that Ricer has on or the one that I have on. Those are kind of sort of one of a kind colors because we have humongous heads. But if the winner does have a big head, message me and I'll get one of those made. But we're going to do 2 stickers and we're going to do a hat. And we're going to do, how many grills do I have for the question?
All right, guys, get it in there. I'm watching the chat. The drum roll, please.
My dad is not allowed to win this.
Let's see if I can do that. Didn't I have thought I had a drum roll. Maybe. We've got an answer of 12, and then we have an answer from Izzy, 15.
Izzy would be correct.
Good job, Izzy. You were paying attention. Way to go, man. Tom Horsman, you're close. He says 100.
So if Izzy is on Facebook or Instagram,
Yep.
send me a message on there, and I'll get your address and what kind of hat you want.
Yeah, he is on Instagram for sure. I know he is because him and I have chatted there. So, hit him up, man. Hit him up. Here we've got a question from Brooke.
Oh.
She says, we've talked about his grill obsession. Can we talk about his spice obsession? How many spices do you think he has?
As much as every barbecue guy on YouTube does, or guy or girl for that matter. You can never have enough. You know, like there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, there is a store that most of their income comes from like fireplaces and pools. But when you first walk into the store to get to that spot, it's an actual barbecue front, and it's an actual barbecue store in Sioux Falls.
Okay.
And they got Suckle Busters and Butcher Block and a couple other big name brands there, and it's like, oh. Like, I need this one, this one, this one, and this one. And, I can hear Brooke in my head, like, don't you have that? I'm like, I don't know. I definitely don't. I probably had 2 pictures of it at the time. But
yeah,
I have, she thinks just having one cupboard designated for it's too much. But I need to expand. So.
Well, and I actually have 3 totes, those bigger totes, and they're plumb full. And my wife said something to the fact about the same thing. She goes, maybe you need to start like putting some of these downstairs in the basement. And I'm like, well, then I'll completely forget about them and I'll never use them, But yeah, it's like you never have enough until when you run out, That's every time I run out, I'm like pissed, And it's like like I will say that Suckle Busters SPG goes on a lot of stuff that we're cooking all the time, and I'm always like, I'm down to a half a shaker. No, we got to watch out, so. Okay, so here. Charlie's saying, what are the meats there are more controversy around and why? That's a hard one. What are some meats around there that might have a little controversy, around them, or like, or something that might be harder to get, or something like that by you?
The pincana, or however you say that. I've never. I've never seen that here.
Picanha. Pic-
Kinda-
yeah,
kinda-
picanha.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you must be close enough where you can grab a little bit of tri-tip though, huh?
Yeah, tri-tip's pretty easy to find here. It's not super hard. I know you're always saying you can go to Sam's and you can get it, but it's a pre-marinated crap,
Right.
and it's like, I mean, who wants to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Tri-tip here, there's a grocery store chain called Fairway. And the only downside of it is they're closed on Sundays, which for the workers that's nice, but for guys who like or girls who like to barbecue on Sundays, it kind of sucks. But they typically always have tri-tips there. Hy-Vee, another grocery store chain, they have tri-tips quite a bit too. But I think the big kicker is that people don't know what it is. So
Right.
that's why it's there.
Yeah, you don't. Go ahead.
I've had one major knife incident on a video, and it was, I think I did a tri-tip on a Green Mountain, my Davy Crockett, when I have the Davy Crockett, and I was cutting it on one of those lunch trays that you see in some of my videos, and I didn't have a washcloth underneath it because I didn't know that was a thing at the time. When somebody mentioned that later on, like, hey, put a washcloth underneath there, it won't slide around. I'm like, holy crap,
That's smart. Yeah.
that's so smart. It was off. I was done shooting the video. I was done eating dinner, but I had like half of it to slice up, so I was slicing it. Then I cut the tip of my finger right off. Woo! And I was using my big brisket knife, and I just sharpened it on my honing rod. And I'm like, I can't even look at this because I know it's bleeding bad right now.
Oh yeah, I think we've all had a little bit of a knife slip from time to time. I mean, I've slivered myself a little bit. No big lump and clump come off or anything like that yet, but typically I'm always a little slower when I'm trimming. I am trying to be careful all the time because I know if I start looking at the camera or something like that, there goes a knuckle. There goes a knuckle.
Those brisket knives are cool because they're big, but typically all you use it for, I mean, is brisket. And it's. That's why you buy like a 14 or 16 inch brisket knife. And did I need to use it on a tri-tip? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, no, I didn't, but I lost a fate. It grew back in hindsight. So
Sure. So now Charlie summed me up a little bit because for whatever reason I can't read any of his questions here, but he said, so he's saying like an example like fat cap down or up, pork butts and chickens fall into huge controversy. So he's like, is there anything there that people are like, you can't do it this way in your area?
I would say probably the fat cap up or down is the main one. And most people who run, super low and slow always say fat cap up. I personally am a fat cap down kind of guy. To be full honest with you, I don't know why I didn't say it in the UDS video, but when I did that, that butt on the UDS the other day, I did fat cap down. I forgot to spray the grate before I cooked, but I just got done seasoning it, and I sprayed the crap out of it with some canola oil. And when I went to pull it out to wrap it, I went to pull the butt up, put a towel around it, went to pick it up. The fat cap just stayed right on the, which it's fine because you don't want to eat the fat cap anyways. And it's not
right.
a bark, but it's like, and it's there for a heat shield when you're cooking right over coals.
Well, exactly. And I'm a fat cap down. Everything that I've ever cooked. I tried a fat cap up when I used to cook on the Weber more, and I was pissed that I didn't have much bark on it because the fat cap. And I'm like, I'm on the Weber on the Oklahoma Joe's Bronco or the Pit Barrel when I had that, all that, it's always fat cap down. Every single pellet grill, always fat cap down, because it is a heat kind of a heat shield. And like you say, with you pulling the fat cap off the pork butt, I would have made a huge funny out of that one. I'm like, good. I don't have to trim this crap off now, so.
In here, that's what I said, but I didn't come out of here, so I'm like, damn it. But it perfectly stayed on the grill grate. And then I'm like, I was putting it in foil and usually with pork butt. I don't really put anything in the foil with pork butt because there's enough that renders out of it that, that it kind of braises in it.
Sure.
But I threw a little bit more rub in the bottom of the foil because there was this bare meat. But I really think the only time I've ever had fat cap up work out good is I think on that 18-hour brisket I did on my pits and spits, I did fat cap up. but that thing ran at 180 for 12 or 13 hours before I wrapped it.
Sure.
And I didn't open it to spray it or anything. So, I mean, I think anything will probably form bark when it's on for that long.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I just always like it's on that rack, and I always say it doesn't. It's got the rack grooves and all that. I want that on the fat cap part of it, and all that. But hey, to each his own. What does it really matter if you're eating it? Not really. It doesn't really matter. So, well, anyways, buddy, great job. I appreciate you coming on, and if you get a chance, jump into the chat for a little bit as I wrap up the show. But awesome, man. I think we had a great conversation here, and I think we learned a lot about you tonight.
I really thank you for having me on here. When I started getting back into YouTube, I took a little break, but when I got back in, I was watching your show, and I kind of joke around. For those of you who are my age and grew up watching Home Improvement, waiting for Tavern Talk to start on Sunday nights is about the same amount of excitement as it was waiting for Home Improvement to come on growing up.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I'm glad that you younger guys appreciate an old timer like myself. So that's good to hear. So good job, buddy. But great questions from the chat. I really appreciate that, and I know Brian does too. And hey, Izzy, make sure you get a hold of Brian so you can get your hat and your stickers. I will tell you, this is one of my favorite hats. So I don't know. I don't remember. I met Izzy a couple weeks ago in the Dells, and he's a big dude, but I don't remember him having a big, large melon. So you might be safe with your other ones with him. So.
I have a few flex bits left, but I also have snapbacks. So
yeah,
we'll have to see.
Perfect. All right, buddy. Well, jump in that chat if you can, and we'll talk to you soon, man. Good job. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, Jeff.
You bet, buddy. No problem. All right. Well, there we go. There is the one and only Brian Horsman from Mad Horse. And let's give him a big round of applause. He did great. I know he was really excited to be on, and I appreciate that when anybody's excited to be on my show, to be real honest with you. And, you learn stuff from all these different barbecuers, and we can't always just sit there and talk about, just barbecue. We got to talk about different hobbies or even different, his trade, what he does for a living. And in his family a little bit, and obviously he's spoiled that he's got a dad that has just as much enthusiasm about cooking outdoors with a live fire as he does. But then, just learning about some of the other issues of sharing responsibilities around the house. So you guys should pretty much know Brian Horsman now. And if you haven't yet, which I'm sure that most of you have already, but make sure you subscribe to his channel and get over there and support him and all that. Because he's got some really cool cookers, and he does a damn good job cooking. The kid knows how to cook. And that's one of the things. He's very similar to Tom if you haven't watched him. You can almost sometimes think, is that Tom? And I knew that was his son, Tom's son, the first time I saw him. I'm like, oh yeah, Mad Horse. Yeah, I can put two and two together. So, but great job, buddy. I really appreciate you coming on. So, all right. Well, now we might as well just turn a little bit of a loop on for a little bit and play a little music. And if you guys got any questions for me, fire away. Yeah, it was a great job. It was awesome. We'll even give him the bicycle horn for the little guy. And Brooke, thank you for helping out and throwing some funny questions at him too. That's awesome, Love it when the better half gets involved in the chat too. So, good job. Steve Hart, I never wrap my ribs, but I cook them in a barrel. They turn out great. Oh yeah, Steve, you don't have to in a barrel typically. Most of the time, I didn't wrap them a lot of, sometimes you do if you're trying to push it through and you want to get things done. But yeah, most of the time in a barrel, you can just let them suckers run. So better grab a beer. Oh, wait. I forgot. Everybody's going to start booing me and call me swear words again. We're going to have to do the P-Break Polka. I have to stop that, and we're going to go to the P-Break Polka. All right. I'll be right back.
Hey!
euch gut?
Super. Hey. Zicke, zacke, zicke, zacke. Zicke, zacke, zicke, zacke.
Well, good night, Laura. Thank you for joining me. Let's see, we got Johnny from View to a Grill. How you doing, buddy? Oh, we got Mad Horse Barbecue. I saw a couple other people. Ben Thompson, thanks for joining me, brother.
Super.
Ray, how you doing? From Newcomb Barbecue. Bubba K, buddy. Let's see, I saw a couple other you guys in there. Oh, there's Rob from Beer Champ Barbecue. How you doing, man? Thank you for joining me tonight.
Zicke, zacke,
And
zicke,
Trex.
zacke.
Trex. Thank you. That's a new one. I saw a couple other, and I'm sorry if I didn't get y'all, but, you know, some of you guys, I read your questions. But thank you for joining me tonight, and along with Brian. It was awesome. We had a lot of fun, obviously, and a great conversation. He doesn't quite have that Wisconsin quite as much as me, but he grew up in Wisconsin, so he sounds like a Wisconsinite for sure. But anyways, let's see what else we got. Anybody got any questions for me? All right, that's right, Bubba K. It's music time. Kind of like at the Badger game, it's the fifth quarter. Yeah, you used to have probably more of a Wisconsinite thing, Brian. So what else I mean, I said it earlier, but we didn't have much time, but did anybody cook anything like epic this weekend? Do something cool? Have some type of fun? I mean, I showed you my pictures earlier. Like I said, I did pizza on Saturday and ribs on Sunday. Why don't you give me some of the stuff that you guys cooked? I saw a couple of them. Thoughts on an offset vertical smoker? It's nice. I think they're cool. Lone Star makes a nice one. Nice little offset cabinet vertical. It's pretty neat. Really neat, actually. If I could have one, I would have one. But I'm actually thinking about just doing a regular, typical offset. Now, I have thought really hard about doing a reverse flow, but we haven't made up our minds yet. They're 100%. Ah, Tom made some bacon wrapped and stuffed pork tenderloin. Very good. Reverse seared tri-tip on the Little Pit Boss by Craig from Behind the Garage Barbecue. 12 pork butts on the Smoke Daddy vertical. Yeah, you know, I mean, That's on my list too. Tom's got that cooker. I know, Brad, you've got that one. It seems like it's just a machine. And I think Tom has the Patriot controller also. I think. Thought I saw one on there. Yeah, I want a Lone Star Grills. That's for sure. That's one on the list, buddy. I actually want a Lone Star. That is my. I don't want to say it's like the biggest dream because Mike is in here from Bowers and Barbecue, and he has a Shirley Fab, and that's probably the big dream. But I just don't want to wait that long. I could handle waiting 6 months for somebody to build my pit, but for a couple of years, you know, to get back into an offset cooker, I'd probably go that way. Now, not saying that I wouldn't put a down payment on a Shirley Fab and wait for a couple of years to get one of those after a while, but oh yeah. Yeah, okay, so Tom, you have the Patriot controller also. I'm going to tell you, they came out, you know, and we're going to plug Smoke Daddy here a little bit, but they came out with a new controller called the USA 2. It's not the Wi-Fi Patriot one, but man almighty, that thing is incredible. It's because like when they sent me the 1190, they wanted to get it to me, and while they were still working on the programming of that new same controller. Wow, the temp difference was night and day, because I kind of did another burn off, let's say, and just ran it, and it's like maximum empty with no thermal mass in there. I had a maximum of 15 degrees from left to right. But when I do this, I'm gonna start editing these beef ribs. Now, I was a screw up cook. I messed up on a couple bones there. I should have just not put any moisture on them because the rub didn't stick, but that thing might have been the max of 10 degrees from left to right, and typically it was about 5 degrees, so pretty cool. You only had to wait 8 weeks? Wow, that is very impressive. Wow, I did not know that. What happened there? Because I think you got a 36, right, Mike? I think. Oh, okay. Yeah, the USA 2 is awesome. So nice, Tom. Very cool. Well, thank you, Brian. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for the super chat, man. That's really, really nice of you, dude. I really appreciate it. You didn't have to do that. You're the guest, man. But, you know, glad you had fun and glad you were on, buddy. We got to get Mike from Bowers Barbecue in here one of these days, too. We'll have to bring back Johnny from View to a Grill eventually. Rob did some pulled pork butts. Awesome. I seen somebody asked about riblets, and I will tell you that I prefer not to smoke riblets. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I do, I don't even have a spares video. When I do a whole spare, I just think it takes up too much room, and the riblets are like something you just chew on and pick away at. To me. But I will say that I do enjoy the nibbling on them, but that cartilage in there and all that, it's all right. I just more of a St. Louis heart, and I like the baby backs, but I will say St. Louis is my favorite. Oh yeah, we'll get you on. We're gonna get everybody on eventually. Oh, Johnny. The barfly was still the same thing as a guest, though, dude. I'll have you on. All right. You did another beer can chicken. Good. I like beer can chicken. I know some people, that's a big controversy. That was one of them that Charlie was kind of talking about. A lot of people like, beer can chicken. I don't know. I mean, I've done it. I think it's good. I am more of a rotisserie chicken person, or even a chicken halves. I still can't believe Mike got his cooker that quick. Because when I was first, so 2 years ago, they must have added a bunch of employees or something. Because I was asking about it, and they were, the patio models don't have the 2-year wait. Okay. All right, that's nice to know. I cook chicken and drink beer from the can. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, right. Don't hit with electronic and fly swatter. That's right. Beer lives matter. Use water or whatever. It's the same. Yeah. Yeah, cool. You bought a rotisserie? Nice. I agree right there. Cold beer matters. Beer lives matter. We got a lot of them now. Beer lives matter. All right, Matt. Good night, buddy. Thanks for joining. All right. I'm glad you had a good weekend. You had a good cook. That's awesome. Thanks for joining again. Next week we have Bradley Robinson from Chud's Barbecue. So that's going to be a big show too. And if you haven't checked out Bradley, he's pretty funny guy. Made a shirt for my slogan. There you go. Yeah, so I am trying to bank videos. I'm trying to do 2 videos a week now, so I don't have to actually at all do a single cook in January on video. That's my goal. I do have a new location. I might do some videos at a different location. A friend of mine has has a business, and they have this atrium thing, and it's all open. And he was talking to me about maybe setting up one of the cookers in there and doing some cooks, which would be fun. Might do that. Yeah, Chud is funny. He is funny for sure. Rising Star also very, very popular. Yeah, I don't hit him up and we'll get him on. It's just going to be interesting to talk about, because he's a real, I don't want to say real, but he is a real barbecuer. He does that for a living and all that, so a lot of knowledge. He makes some kind of cool pits himself. He's got his Chud pits and all that, which is neat. So Stevens Point Holodome? Yeah, almost. That's gone now, Tom. They tore that down. If you're talking about the old Holiday Inn there, yeah, with the big bubbles and all that on top of it, yeah, they tore that down, and now they have one on the east side of town, a new Holiday Inn. There's a new Century Insurance building there. Huge, stupid huge building. So a little different up there. And then they got COVID, and they got everybody working from home for Century Insurance. So you're not old. You're not old. It's not that long ago when they took it out. I mean, God. I mean, it was some type of hotel-ish thing for a while there, but it wasn't Holiday Inn anymore once they made their new one. The old Holodome. So what did you cook, Johnny? Did you cook anything fun? Ancient Tom. More than 20 years ago? More than 20 years they took it down? No way. I didn't think it was that long ago. Like 10 years ago I thought I drove there. Saw it. Pretty funny though. Ben would know. I'm not sure if Ben is from Wisconsin Rapids. Not positive there. There you go. That's right. Use a lager and you'll get some really good flavor on it. Yeah, the old holodomes. They had them all around here. Wausau had one. I think Green Bay had one too, but I remember Wausau had one for a while. You know, funny. That was where you could, like, some of the first indoor swimming pools that you went to back in the 70s. You had your tighties on. Yeah. Now kids wear shorts down to their ankles. Back when we were kids, boys even had to like pull their pants down to make sure their buns weren't hanging out. You know, we always called them bun huggers. Basketball teams in the 80s were really hilarious. We all looked like Larry Bird and all that running around. Hey Matt, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining. Yeah, you're a little late, but you got here. That's right. I agree. Oh, heck yeah. Well, Mr. William Myers, thank you, sir. I appreciate for that super chat. That's awesome, dude. Thank you, bud. That's really nice of you. Did you get a chance, you and Mr. Bookla, did you guys get a chance to use your grill grates yet? But thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, Steve, easily. You can easily do them in a barrel, no problem. Anything that you can cook on a pellet grill, you can cook on a barrel. You can cook it in a Weber kettle, anything like that. You can cook them hot and fast if you wanted to be honest with you. Easily cook them hot and fast, but I think they taste a little better if you don't run beef ribs hot and fast. Just my way. But no. You're just looking for tenderness, man. That's it. I mean, if you can control your barrel a little bit, 275-ish is a good temp for them. But if you're running 325, they're just going to get done faster. The issue could be where you don't maybe get as much smoky flavor on them, but I don't know. I mean, barrels, most comp guys are using barrels, so I don't think it matters. Oh, this is actually a rub from Simon. I'm an affiliate with these guys, and I will have a couple videos coming from them. So this is my my new rub that I'm trying, and yeah, they're made in the USA. I don't know, that's Simon, I guess. But they contacted me. It's new. I don't have the video made on it, but I did try their other regular barbecue. What is it? I'd have to go look at the bag, but no, it's they sell them in bags, so we'll see. I thought that one was pretty good though. The Pig by Me has some add to pass though. Either I'm missing words because I've been like running off from about 4 hours of sleep a night, or I just can't read. My friend there, Mudguts, William Myers, I might have to go to, he's a school teacher, so I might have to go him and have him teach me how to read it again. Yeah, I like their little containers too. You know, it's got the little fold out part, you know, and it comes off and, you know, just kind of hooks onto it. So we'll see. We're going to try them. Like I say, I used that one. I can't remember if it was honey barbecue or what, but anyways. No, that's all right. Punctuation and all that don't matter really anymore. It's 2020. I don't think that really counts. It's COVID, so you don't have to spell right anymore. Oh, the Piggly Wiggly. I think you're saying the Piggly Wiggly. Beef plate ribs. Well, next time, Ben, you pick them up. Yeah, I had to think about it for a while. The pig. We have a pig in Wapaka, but I don't get down there that much. Typically, we go to Stevens Point and shop over at a couple different places over there. But Piggly Wiggly's always got pretty decent meat. Sure does. Festival and all that. But yeah, so I think my next cook is a fun little cook on the Sloan Sear. I'm ready to get out the barbecue guru and cook something out of there. Yeah, shop the pig. Get out there and fire that little cooker up. I mean, it really is. And I told David Parrish this and Justin from Baby Back Maniac just last week that I call the Sloan Sear the pre-made Tom Horsman and Phil Rogers mod kettle. Pretty funny. The great thing is, though, my buddy Jake, when I was telling him I was going to run it with the Ultra Q in it, so I'm going to do a video and we'll run the Ultra Q, and he goes, "Is that one drilled?" Yeah, it's drilled. We don't have to drill through it. And then he saw the assembly. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, good." He goes, "We're not drilling another hole in the kettle ever again." And it would have been fine if we would have had a smaller step-down drill bit, but Jesus. Real life, people screw up. Oh, I miss Phil too. It's a shame, but still watch his videos once in a while. He's a great guy. Still is a great guy, you know. Yeah, I think I need to do that. But you know, they kind of know it though. The butchers, like I've explained this to people so many times, that we have one that's a good butcher that is up in Wausau, and I can get just about anything. That's about an hour one direction for me, and the other direction is Appleton, and that's the butcher block, and they're about an hour also, and both of them, I'm like, you keep on showing me picanha as your tri-tip. It's not tri-tip. That's the top sirloin is the picanha. We need the boomerang shape from the frickin' lower sirloin. And they're like, oh, I don't even think we get them in. But they package it. It says right on there, picanha tri-tip. It's like, you stupid asses. Bunch of morons. Yeah, that's right, Ben. Nothing here, unfortunately. Hey, Jeff's in here. Thanks for joining me, buddy. And Daddy Dutch is in here again. All right. Thanks for coming back, brother. But yeah, the tri-tip up in this area, well, Ben, if you're from Wisconsin Rapids, yeah, it's really hard to find. You know, we got to find a breakdown butcher, somebody that's going to break a whole animal down, and then you can get it. I can special order it. They told me that, but I'm going to have to buy a case, and it's like, I don't have a big enough chest freezer to get that many tri-tips, to be honest with you, because we always have another bunch of crap in there. You had a rough weekend? Oh, that's right. You're out in Vegas. That's right. I saw that. Hanging out with or California, hanging out with all the cool people. Just be careful out there, Dutch. You're pretty tall. Don't hit your head on some of the doors around there. Be careful. I forgot you're out there. Look like you're having fun, though. That's right. Oh, look at this dash. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming in, man. All right. Looking forward to your video, buddy. All good, man. You got to be like me, though, and then have your, like, one headset on, and then you listen to the live chat, and then you're editing off from your other speakers. Multitasking, buddy. And then you drive yourself crazy, so. What would a big kid like you must have got thrown out of bed, Kent? Rumbling 4.8? You might have ended up on the floor. That's all right, Dash. I'm kidding you, buddy. All good, my friend. Kent, you belong in Cornville. You should. Oh, you never felt it? Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Good. Must have had a lot of Crown that night. So last night, so you were able to sleep through that. That's good. You had, you know, as long as Kathy's okay. You know, I don't really care so much, but. You know, it's so funny. Like, my chats, I'm watching the chat from the show, and then I have the chat from the YouTube. And sometimes the YouTube chat is spot on. It's like running right there. And then sometimes my show is right on. It's so weird how that works. Yeah, well, I mean, we don't feel goofy like earthquakes and stuff like that, but we get snowbanks and sleet and rain, you know. All right, Jeff, that's interesting. Yeah, there was some like big like earthquake, I don't remember if it was a year ago or something like that in the Midwest, that, you know, they said that they could feel, you know, all the way through like Wisconsin and way south or whatever, but whatever, I didn't feel nothing. Wade didn't feel nothing. But, you know, I mean, people that are out there in that hurricane, or in the hurricanes too, and earthquakes, yeah, Jesus, you know, yucky. You know, in Wisconsin where I live, we don't even get really tornadoes much, so get lots of snow and lots of rain, but it's pretty hilly here, so they always kind of skip over the top of us, so we're good. It's God's country. Yeah, that's about it, buddy. You're still on, Russ. Yeah, I don't want it, man. I don't want it. I think, like, from all your hurricanes, though, they always end up coming here on the weekends when I'm trying to film, and I get some crazy rainstorm that comes through. But we had a perfect weekend this weekend. God, it's going to be like 75 or something like that all week, too. So, nice. Nice. But yeah, I don't want no hurricanes. I'd like to come and see one, like a smaller one, and like, oh wow, you know. But not nothing that I want to deal with. You guys get nicer weather than us, but yeah, beta. First I thought they called it Beto, but then I read a little closer, put my glasses on. Yeah, I hope that just can do some about turn, man. Doesn't hit either of you boys down there, man. Too much crap, you know what I mean? Like Big Lou, you know, he had a bunch of damage to his house, you know. Good last week of layoff. Back to work. Damn you, Verso. Yeah. Beta, just a test storm. There you go. Yeah, I didn't really see how big they were, but you know, I've seen clips on the YouTubering that you guys are getting enough of it down there. Back to backs type of stuff, so it's enough. All right, Robbie, I know you're down in that range too. Yeah, the tornadoes really suck. Good night, Mike. Thank you for coming in, my friend. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a good thing. We actually were so cold last week. It was like 55 degrees a few times last week, and they were talking about we were going to have a record cold day in like September. And you know, of course, I got to get on social media and say, could you people please leave your cars run longer so we can get like 3 or 4 degrees warmer today? And you know, I get hate mail on that. But I don't really mean it in a bad way. I'm just like, we don't have no freaking global warming here. Shit. But yeah, no, those cold fronts come through around by us. That's when we get all the lightning and thunderstorms and straight line winds and stuff like that and tornadoes, but we just don't get big ones. We don't get those Kansas City crap, and you know, that is just pure adrenaline brewing when that's on those big flat plains like that, you know. Too much power. Ooh, it's cold up by you then, champ. Well, you got some warmer weather maybe coming towards you, because I see that we're going to be in the 70s, but yeah. Yeah, that's right, Ben. 90 to 50 in a day. Actually, Charlie, I think he had 110 or some damn thing, and then the next day it snowed by him or something. Crazy. That's too bad. I saw some tugboats get pushed in, or some boats get pushed in to wreck a bunch of docks and stuff like that. Sucks. Yeah, we were, like I say, 65, 69 or something like that today. Really sunny. I actually got a little sun on my face when I was cooking, so it felt good. But Saturday was a little chillier. Not terrible. Still short and t-shirt weather, but evening it was like, well, we better put on a sweatshirt or whatever, so. But it's, you know, fall's coming, you know, or fall's here, or whatever the hell. So, you know, it's just part of life, you know. Next thing you know, blizzard. I'm gonna do a video in the blizzard though. Did the woof the Packers. But yeah, I'm gonna cook in a blizzard. I've done it before, but filming in it, it's gonna be tricky. God, I don't know how I can do it, but cameras are too sensitive when they're starting to build up with ice and stuff, but we'll see. Maybe we can figure out a way. Yeah, me too. I still cook. I just don't like filming it, Charlie. It sucks when you film in it. It's like, damn it. Especially like when you like bring your camera in and it takes like half an hour for the lens to the fog to come off it. But you know, a lot of people around my area, they love the winter. I'm like, you guys can take it. I'm out of here. Oh yeah. Yeah, the sandwich bags, you're right. Sandwich bags, put the camera in there, yep. Yeah, right. Oh, really? He's quitting on you, buddy? Oh, that's too bad. Brad? This is Brad's other account right here. BBQ Barbecue. Yeah, I got my snowblower sits in one spot. We got plenty of room. I got a big 54-inch deck on my John Deere, and that's always the issue. That's always the issue. Where did I put that damn thing? I used to live on a farm, so I had a much bigger lawn than I got now. And like, it's funny because I mowed this little lawn here in like 15 minutes, and I actually got kind of pissed. I'm like, damn it, I want a bigger lawn, because that was always my fun time to sit and listen to my headphones on my phone and watch like videos or whatever. Now I can barely get one in. Yeah, it does suck, Steven. Cold weather, I mean, down by you guys, yeah, it's pretty sweaty, Steven. But, you know, up here, when the cold weather lasts for a long time, that's what's hard. I don't mind it when it snows in mid-December and it starts going away in February. It's just, that's perfect. But when it snows in like early October and it's here until the end of like April, that's just so down. You're just so like, ugh, you know. Oh yeah, BBQ Tavern talk. That's right. I forgot to talk about that. I did start up the new channel, BBQ Tavern Talk, and I'm every week I'm pushing after the week of it being up, I'm moving it over to that channel. Yeah, that's right, Russ. I'll get you up here, and we'll actually even go further north sometime. You and me and family, and we'll go up some big snow banks. We'll get up to Hurley area and all that. And 54, 55 inches of snow on the ground. And we'll do a cook video. Yeah, the 5 or 6 months of it just kicks your butt. That's right. You know, Rob lives in snow area too, you know, upper New York State, you know. But yeah, so I have that new Tavern Talk channel, and over there, I'm moving everybody's interviews and all that over there, because YouTube, and I'm going to probably piss and moan here a little bit, but they want you to go live. They promote you, blah, 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 to go live. But if you have other content and you're not just a live streamer walking down the street watching Portland blow up or something like that, they don't really give a frick about you. And they take that algorithm, because you're not going to get a lot of like views and stuff like that off from interviews. You'll get a few, and I was always getting a few, but when that click ratio goes down so low, then they kind of like wreck the rest of your shit. And it's like, help out. You want us to go live, because it's hours in view time. Well, I don't really even give a crap about the hours and the view time off of the show, to be honest with you. But it pisses me off that they'll end up like suffocating the rest of my crap. You know, screw you, but whatever. Yeah, we still get tornadoes, but not whatever. All right, buddy. Have a good one, Brian. Take care, my friend. You betcha, man. You're a great guest. You did a good job, buddy. Really good. Cool. Good job, buddy. Man, you got a live stream. It's a good way to, you know, start out and get it out there and live stream a little bit. I think it's cool. But they penalize you for like talk shows and stuff like that. You know, maybe if you're live streaming like a cook video, that's maybe, you know, you maybe get a little bit more value out of that part. But again, they penalize you for this crap sometimes, and it just ticks me off. Jesus, that is so funny. That is so damn funny, Steve. I was just talking about that. Just talking about that with my friend Dale. He's been in a few of my videos. God. Last week we were talking about the Disney-style turkey drumsticks. Yeah, I think there's quite a few videos out there on that, I think, but we might do one for fun. Yeah, I agree, Russ, you know. And it's like, you know, I love Tavern Talk. It's really fun for me to have people on and people get to learn other people and all that, so I do enjoy the whole actual show thing. But I had to move it away because it just started like crushing me, because every suggested video that they were doing to me, every suggested video, you know, best for viewer and all that, was being the Tavern Talk. Well, we all know somebody's gonna click on it and click it off right away if you're not live. Well, I mean, it's, unless there's certain people that can't watch it that night and their job, the way it works, they can sit there and watch the replay or listen to the replay. That's fine. But I'm like, well, why is that a suggested video, bastards? You know? So they were just destroying my channel, but telling me that, oh, you should go live, because on your little, you know, studio crap, whatever the hell that is. Well, that's good, Ben. Thank you, man. Well, you know, I mean, I love the show. I mean, I got a lot of crap from people like, hey, you know, get rid of this show, you know, and it's just people that want to have recipes. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll still make you recipes of my style or whatever it is that I'm doing, but I want to do a show too, you know, but, you know, losing subscribers and all that, whatever. Gallery Barbecue just did one? He just did a live? Did Tommy go live? Hey, Mo Master Mitch, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that thumbs up, brother. Appreciate that. What? You're still up, Steve? Holy crap, thanks, brother. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm second best to Owl's Nest Barbecue. That's important to me. I don't mind being second best to you, Bob. And if you haven't watched Steve, make sure you do. Oh, Tommy did the Disney turkey legs. Okay. Yeah, it's just funny that because my buddy Dale is a big Disney guy. Goes there all the time. Twice a year, him and his family. I got some condo or something like that. And he was telling me, you got to do the Disney turkey like legs. And I'm like, okay. So then he showed me, and it's like, maybe. You know, Charlie, I don't really have an answer for that. I mean, probably wine. The wine stuff probably got me connected with some other people. As far as like my videos, most everybody that's ever been in contact with me is into barbecue. But yeah, the wine might have opened up some other things that some of them developed and some of them haven't, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Well, thanks, Ben. Yeah, I mean, I do this because it's fun, you know, for the most part. I think all the YouTubers out here that are watching right now will tell you it's fun for the most part. It's not the greatest time. But, and one thing I want to tell you guys, I was on a live stream on, and I forgot to say this in the beginning of the show, and I feel bad, but I was on a live stream interview, or I was actually the guest on last Friday, over at BBQ Talks. They're from England, Matt and Ryan, and we had a little conversation. It was probably a long conversation, but I was in there, and it was fun. I was happy to be over there, part of that. Oh, that part? Yeah, Charlie. Okay, I get it now. Man, I'm telling you, I must be, like, not understanding you. We're not on the same wavelength today. But, no, I mean, yeah, Russ, Charlie, Steve Ray. I mean, Steve and John Solberg are the reason why I got on the Barbecue Central show, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I there's a lot of different experiences I got in that fashion. You know, Justin from Baby Back Maniac, you know, I mean, I got to know him because I'm a YouTuber and stuff, and he's helped me a lot with, like, my editing things, with some different things, and it's just clicking buttons to save me a little time, you know, so that's been pretty cool. What did you watch? I'm sorry, man. I watched it. But anyways, yeah, so there's a big thing there that, you know, like Johnny is another one. Johnny and I sit and talk on the phone all the time, you know, and it's like you get to make really cool the interview, Grandpa. Oh, okay, I got it. But you know, the you get to meet a lot of different people that have that same, you know, fun, same type of hobbies, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's a really important thing. Yeah. Yeah, you know that there's an investment in YouTube, Brad. You know, I mean, there is a big investment when you get into the YouTube part. But you don't have to go, you know, crazy either. You know, you don't have to go nuts and spend everything and try to match up with everybody too. You know, sometimes it's best just to start, like, recording, learning how to do a lot of that stuff. Yeah, that's true. No, I'm not a grandpa, but I think he's calling me old because the way I'm acting right now. And that's okay. You know, I mean, I am pretty damn tired. We just had one of those, like, I was on that live stream and then started drinking and then kept drinking and then got up early and then got things set up for the pizza that night. or for Saturday, and then my buddy Joe comes over, and then we go and look at this like new studio thing that where I might move into their building for the old car show. And he's like, dude, you can film all you want in our atrium, and we can store your cookers right over here. I mean, it'd be awesome. And there's a bar right to the door and all that. And it's for a big Iowa car show thing. And he goes, it would be super cool, and just do it, man. And he goes, we'll highlight you and blah 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 and all that. And I'm like, oh, that means I gotta haul all my cameras, but we'll see. But so we went over there forever. Then we sat around and talked. And then I got up early this morning so I could cook ribs, you know. So I'm a little tired tonight. A little tired. Yeah, you don't need all the equipment though either, buddy. Don't need all the equipment. But I suppose, speaking a bit tired, we're at 9:20. The guest had to leave. He had to probably put the youngin' down and hang out with Brooke for a little bit before he went to bed. So we all have too many hobbies, Ben. When the wives tell us that, we all have too many. That's Brad, actually, Charlie. BBP is Brad Lucas. So, all right, everybody. Turn this down, and we're going to change to our outro. Thank you very much for joining Dead Broke Barbecue and Brian from Mad Horse Barbecue. It was awesome, and I just want everybody to make sure, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe over at Brian's channel and check him out on Instagram and all that. So, you guys take care. Great conversation, and thank you for being such an active, aggressive chat. I love it, man. I love it. I mean, you guys really help me a lot, so thank you very much. And just remember, we'll see you next week, and we got Bradley Robinson on from Chud's Barbecue. So
You don't
have a
to
good
go
night.
Home, but you can't stay here. Thank you so much for joining Ricer on BBQ Tavern Talk. Before you go, make sure you hit that thumbs up or hit the thumbs down. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification ringy bell. All of those YouTube things. Action figures sold separately. Batteries not included. If symptoms persist, seek medical attention. Only one per household. Call toll-free number before digging. Caution, filling is hot. Do not fold, spindle, or mutilate. Do not remove tag under penalty of law. Refrigerate after opening. In the unlikely event of a water landing, your seat cushion may be used as a flotation device.